Last week, we began a trail where I'm letting you decide what I build. We started out by building some rollers to generate speed, and then I asked you guys if you wanted to send a small gap into a berm or build more rollers to get more speed for a bigger gap jump. You guys voted overwhelmingly for option 1, and no surprise there, but I also noticed another thing in the comments. Everyone unanimously agreed, including myself, that the rollers were too peaky and needed a bit of reworking. So this week, along with building the gap to berm, we are also going to start by fixing up the rollers so they run smoothly. Don't forget to vote at the end of this video on what we build next. Beside that, let's get started on this week's build that I'm stoked to say is supported by Skillshare. It is an awesome online learning community for creatives, but more on them later. Let's see if we can get these rollers flowing a bit better.
I want it all. I can't see anything else anymore. We wouldn't have it any other way, my darling. I know you know this, but
when repairing or adding things to clay in ceramics and trail building, you have to score the surface first, or else the new clay won't stick to the old clay. That's why I'm making these cross hatches along the surface of the roller before I add on the new dirt.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
That feels fantastic. It feels 100% better. Like, so much more flowy feeling. Yeah, glad everybody had a problem with those, because now they're freaking awesome.
Okay, it is day 2 out here. It is the day after we just fixed everything that I didn't really make super great last time. And we are going on a little hike here. We need more dead trees, bigger ones, because we're getting bigger features and longer features, so we're gonna need a lot. Yeah, for now, I guess I'm gonna try to clear a pathway to these dead trees because it is thick. Okay. Okay, so I got most of the trees cut up. We still got 1 or 2 more to topple down or to fall. But for the most part, I'm just going to start bringing all these logs up and just stacking them in a pile. And then once I have all the logs right next to me, then I can start to kind of pick and choose where everything's gonna lay out. And yeah, it's just gonna be a lot easier. Instead of being worn out, maybe tomorrow, I'll have everything right there and then I can just lay it out perfectly without being totally exhausted from cutting and moving trees all day.
That hurt my back. Day 3, I'm walking on the rollers that we fixed up. So what we're gonna do is ride these a couple times and feel out how much speed we're gonna have coming into this jump. We'll break out the Siskiyou and give her a couple runs. That's good. That's pretty good. So the whole thing with this is I want you to essentially start from like 1 pedal stroke, and then you gain your speed from the rollers. So I'm gonna make this first gap maybe a couple feet, maybe 3 feet. You don't have a buttload of speed, but you do have a pretty good flow. I don't have much experience on flow trails like this, so I like to measure to make sure my takeoffs aren't too short for an enduro bike like the Siskiyou N9. After deciding where the lip would go, I set 2-seater posts to hold the jump in place.
Okay, the jump is done, so we're gonna give it a little test run and see where I land. I have to do it probably a few times so that we get a decent estimate as to where this landing should go. But there's the jump. It's looking good. I think it's gonna feel pretty nice. Pretty nice.
After checking out this footage, you can see the landing needs to be about here. If you don't want to lose speed, your landing has to be either level or higher than the takeoff. Anything lower will cause a speed reduction. Most people don't want that.
So since it's so close, since we're gonna have to build it so close, I'm just gonna kind of like stem it off of this one.
With our landing done, we could move on to the last part of the feature. Initially I thought I would swing the berm to the left, but with the jump in place, I decided that a right swinging berm would make more sense here. So I got to work clearing the new area, and I cut up some more cedar posts that we'll use to hold up the back of the berm.
I'm not gonna dig a bunch of holes for our posts. I'm just gonna put tips on them and then just bash them into the ground as hard as I can, because the ground is semi-soft right now and we're using cedar, so it'll work because the berm's not gonna be very big, and yeah, doesn't need that much support, and these are gonna support the heck out of it, and I don't feel like digging a bunch of holes.
To ensure my berms have a perfect curve to them, I like to use a pivot point to mark from. All I did was attach a rope to a shovel and tied a knot at the 14-foot mark. No rhyme or reason for 14, I just wanted a nice wide berm.
Okay, start stacking some logs. Okay, now that we have all of our logs stacked up somewhat, I think I'll have to go up another level or so. I'm gonna start bringing the dirt over, and we'll pack it up and then keep moving the levels up as we get more and more dirt on it so they don't collapse over.
Once the berm was built, I went ahead and added a long and low roller just to keep the flow moving between the landing and the berm. And now that our features were done, we can give this thing a test ride so that you guys can make a fitting choice on what we build next in the line. This trail feels like you're surfing a slow, mellow wave through the forest. It's so freaking good, and it's about time we decide what comes next on this forest wave. But before I present you with the options for what we build next, I want to give a huge shout out to Skillshare for supporting this week's trail building. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes on things like photography, illustration, editing video, marketing, music, and just tons of other stuff for creative, curious people. It's really freaking incredible. Like, I just joined this past week, and after watching a class on the fundamentals of DSLR photography, I already feel like my skill and knowledge of photography increased like 10 times over, and I really can't wait to go explore the other classes that they offer. So, if you want to join me, the first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a 2-month free trial of the premium membership, so you too can explore your creative side. Okay, it's now time to decide what we want to come next on our trail. I came up with 2 pretty decent options this week, but I think I know which one you'll pick. Option 1 is to cut down a bit and then come back up into a jump that gaps over into a landing that will go into another berm that swings left. This option's good because we can keep heading at an angle to the hillside for a longer trail. Option 2 would be to build a shark fin. We would build up the already existing berm into a wall ride jump looking thing that gaps over into an immediate left swinging berm. This option would be cool because it keeps with the trail waving back and forth in all directions, but it'll shoot us straight down the hill, so it won't be as long of a trail. So the options again are a gap to berm or a shark fin. YouTube doesn't allow polls anymore, so you'll have to go to my website to vote. Either click the link here or go through my description to find the link. Or just go to backyardtrailbuilds.com/vote to cast your vote. Thanks in advance for voting, and a huge thanks to all my patrons. This channel runs on your support, so thank you very much. Anyway, go cast your vote now, and let's build some more stuff next week. I'll see you then.
Yes.